In 2002, after being charged with an aggravated felony, former U.S. Marine Marco Chavez was deported for life. That's right, life. Back to Mexico, never to come back to America again. Now, this is a U.S. Marine, and he was deported back to Mexico, to a country he never lived in since he was a baby, since he was an infant. California Governor Jerry Brown pardoned him for his aggravated felony, and an immigration judge ruled that he would be allowed to re-enter the United States. Marco had been living in Mexico for 15 years when he returned to the United States a few days before Christmas 2017. We had talked with Marco back on Bradshaw Live 2 weeks after he returned home to America, and he was living with his parents in California, getting his bearings. Since then, Marco attended Trump's State of the Union address in January 2018 and has started to get back on his feet and readjust. He joins us today to tell us about his adjustment back to life in America and how it has been to reunite with his ex-wife, Jackie, their 3 sons, and 2 grandchildren. Welcome, Marco, and thank you for coming on Bradshaw Live. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me on.
So when we last talked, you just came back to the United States of America. Life was still a little crazy. You were still adjusting. How has it been since? It's now 10 months. Are you happier now? Is it more stressful? Tell us what it's like.
Well, I'm in a better place. I'm closer to my kids. I don't know, they're my adult children because they're a little older now. I'm here in Iowa, closer to my ex-wife, my grandkids. I get to see them like more often than I used to. And I get to, spend some time with my sons.
But when you got deported, how old were your children?
There were 6, 5, and 2.
All right, so you missed their whole childhood. You were out of the country for 15 years. What were the first few sentences you said? What was the conversation like to see a child you hadn't seen for so long?
Well, the first thing I thought was, wow, you guys are big. They're bigger than me. They're taller than me, huskier than me, and very healthy. And I was happy about that. We didn't conversate too much because to them, I was like a stranger. I embraced them. I grabbed them and gave them their hugs. But them, as teenagers, they're like, okay, you're just this man that just came back.
Right. Are they mad at you?
I don't know if they were mad. They just didn't know me. And the thing is, I'm here, and all I'm showing them is positive things. Positive thing. I'm working, taking care of things, looking out for them, offering them stuff. I'm here for them, whatever they need.
Was it hard to find work?
It was hard because I didn't have the documentation and the experiences here. Nobody really wanted to know what I was doing in Mexico. They wanted experience here. The good thing is that in California, I did work. I started work in January through a brother-in-law. I worked with the company he was working in, and that helped out a bit.
Are you happier here in America or in Mexico?
Oh, I'm happier here, definitely.
So
by far, I'm very relaxed. I'm comfortable. My wife and sons live down the street. I can go see them whenever I want. They can come here.
And do you see them a lot?
I sure do. I spend a lot of time at that house.
Do you feel now you've gotten to know your children more? You're trying to make up for lost time, obviously. Do you feel that you're still a stranger to them, or they're a stranger to you, or you feel more like a father again?
I'm trying to feel like a father, but I'm getting to know my sons, and they're getting to know me. That's what's going on. It's a process. We are getting to know each other.
Are you angry about what happened to you, or are you kind of over it and just trying to move on with life?
I'm trying to move on. I'm done with it. I'm trying to move on.
Now, you were invited to President Trump's State of the Union address. He has said a lot of nasty things mean-spirited things, racist things about Mexicans. That's your heritage. He has said a lot of terrible things about people from your country, people from other countries, other Latinos, other minorities, other immigrants. What were your thoughts about sitting there?
I didn't know much about Trump. I wasn't keeping up on that. He wasn't saying none of those things when they were working on his properties, right? He had nothing but, people from other countries working on his properties and doing work for him. And he wasn't talking like that then. It sounds like some confusion in his brain somewhere.
Now, you got divorced in 2007 with Jackie, who's now your ex-wife, who you live down the street from. Why
Right.
did you got divorced while you were in Mexico and you had been deported?
Right.
Was that the only reason, or there was other issues as well?
I never signed off on the divorce. I never knew about the divorce. It's something she did, so I really don't know what happened there.
You originally were in California when you first came back,
Right.
and you were living with your parents in California, and
Right.
and now your ex-wife Jackie, your kids, they're all in Iowa. At what point after you came back to America did you say, I am going to reunite with my family?
That's always been on my mind, even when I was in Mexico. Save up some money, move to Iowa, closer to my sons.
You had a tough time, and you're adjusting, and you're getting to know your sons again and your children again, and you purposely moved down the street from them. How's your relationship with Jackie?
It's like we're picking up where we left off, because we didn't separate out of anger, out of hatred, nothing like that. It was just, circumstances.
How come she never, or you never asked the children to come visit you in Mexico, or your wife to come visit you in Mexico? Was that ever a discussion?
I lost touch. I was having a bad time in Mexico. I had a real bad time, no money. I tried to keep in contact with them for a while, but after a while, it was either that or eat, and I had to eat.
Do you think things are starting to get better for you after 15 years of turmoil, separation of your family? Are you in a good spot right now?
Oh, yes, I'm happy I'm here.
What do you think about how America's treating immigrants? How they treated you?
That was unfair. If anything, they should have advised me more while I was going through this aggravated felony process. They should have let me know, hey, you know what? You have a green card. This could happen. And nobody said nothing.
Do you think that maybe they should be taking into consideration the fact that you were an active duty military veteran before they deported you for one
Oh,
offense?
of course.
That never even entered into the equation.
I did bring it up in the immigration court, and they said, well, you have to submit the paperwork. That means I had to do the running around to get the paperwork in, which I did, but they still didn't take it into consideration.
It's not even how, you were treated bad, but people don't even think about in this immigration debate how your wife and children, who I assume are American citizens, how they were treated.
Right.
They lost their husband, they lost their father, they grew up without a parent. If I waved a magic wand 5 years from now, Marco, you're in the United States now 5 years. Where do you see yourself? What do you want to be doing? Where do you see you and your family?
Married in California and closer to my son in Oregon, with all my sons and everything in California.
Married to Jackie or married to somebody?
To Jackie.
To Jackie, and
course,
you all
yeah.
moved to California.
Oh yeah.
If you had an opportunity to speak to President Trump, and you told him about your experiences, and he gave you one opportunity to say to him one thing that you would like to see changed in immigration policy, what would it be?
He speaks a lot about veterans and military personnel and first responders and things like that, that he should be looking more into that and try to get some of our brothers back, because there's a lot of us that are deported.
What type of work are you doing right now? What's the work that you're doing right now?
Right now, I'm working at a print shop.
At a print shop. Do you have aspirations of what you want to be your career in the future?
I'm slowly starting, and I'm looking to get back into school. Just looking at all my options, see what's opening up for me.
Tell me the best day you've had with your children so far since you've been back. What's been the best experience or day that you've had?
The drive back from California, because I had two of my sons with me.
Oh, so you really got time to spend with them.
Oh yeah, they went to California. They spent a month there with me, and I convinced them to drive back with me, and
Wow.
we did. And we had a good time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Something you never thought was ever going to happen in your life.
Right, I thought I was going to drive back by myself.
What about your grandchildren? You have grandchildren now too.
Oh, they're one is 2, and the other one is 1.
And you get on the floor with them, you play with them. You never thought you'd have a chance
yeah.
to do that, huh?
Oh, they come over.
Yeah.
One of my grandsons comes over because he lives here about an hour away, and the one from Oregon, he comes over like once a month, and we spend a lot of time with him too.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. You live down the street from your family, and you're really starting to, make up for lost time. It's really a great story. You're getting back on your feet. It's wonderful to hear, and
Thank you.
and I'm really happy for you. I'm happy for your family. You have any dreams for the future? You told me a little bit about wanting to be with your family in California.
Right.
Tell me a little bit more about your dreams for the future.
I just want everybody to be, good. I wanted my sons to, to come around and know that they had a father that loved them, because right now they're just, wondering whether they did have a dad.
Right.
And they did. I'm their dad, and I love them a lot, and still do, and always have, and always will.
Marco, I
want them to understand that.
Do you have a message to any of the other deported veterans? There's thousands and thousands of deported veterans out there that are still stuck around the world. What is your message to them?
Don't be stuck. If there's opportunities, if there's people helping veterans, go inform yourself. Go and talk to people. Go and see Hector at the Deported Veteran House. Because that's one of the things I was doing. I was just like, I'm sort of giving up until I went to see Hector, and all the ball, everything just snowballed. And here I am in Iowa now.
It's wonderful.
So don't just sit there. Hang in there. Inform yourselves. Talk to as many people as you can about this. There is people out there that are going to help.
It's just wonderful. Thank you very much, Marco. All the best of luck to you. And I hope that in the future we can check back with you again and see if you made it back to California with your family. And I hope everything continues to go in the right direction for you. You had a very tough 15 years. Enjoy every day of life moving forward. And congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I will.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you.